Serious. This man made billions and explained why you're still broke. No mercy. Calm Charlie Munger didn't comfort you. He told a truth that stings. Serious. And that truth explains why smart, hardworking people end up with nothing. Steady. He was Warren Buffett's right hand, the brain behind half his decisions. Steady. He had no motivational speeches, no secret schemes. Low. He had a few blunt principles he repeated his whole life. Steady. You can grasp them in 10 minutes and start using them today. Serious. Your problem isn't that you know too little, it's what you do. Calm. Let's go through his hardest truths, and one of them is probably about you. Steady. Fair warning. This is blunt, just like Munger himself. Steady first. Quickly, so you know whose words you're hearing. Steady. Charlie Munger was Buffett's partner for almost 60 years. Serious. Buffett said it openly. Munger made me smarter. Lowy and Munger lost almost everything. A divorce, his son, his money, and rebuilt. Steady. So he spoke not from a theorist's chair, but from his own life. Steady. He hated stupidity more than he loved being clever. Serious. And he believed most people stay poor not from bad luck, but from repeated mistakes. Calm. Here are his truths about why money keeps passing you by. Steady. Truth 1, and the most uncomfortable, the first 100,000. Serious. Munger said it plainly. The first 100,000 is brutally hard. Steady. But you have to get it. Without it, nothing else begins. Load on. People quit right here, on the slowest, most boring stretch. Steady. Early on, money grows painfully slowly. The effort feels pointless. Serious. And most give up before compound interest ever kicks in. Steady. You build the first pile with raw discipline, almost no help from returns. Calm. After that, money starts working for you, but only past this wall. After Steady. Munger got through it by saving on everything and investing every spare dollar. Not because he was cheap, because he saw what was on the other side. Nayan. Serious. You're often poor not because you earn too little. Steady, but because you quit on the first hardest stretch of the road. Calm. Accept that the start is slow and boring. That's not a bug. It's the price of entry. Steady. Reach that first round number, and it gets easier than you think. Serious. But if you call even this too hard, the money walks right past you. Low. And that was only the first truth. The next one cuts even deeper. Serious truth. 2. About a feeling that quietly ruins millions. Steady. Munger called envy the stupidest of all sins. Low. Burn. Because there's no pleasure in it at all. Only pain. Steady. He said it's not greed that drives the world, but envy. Serious. And here's how envy makes you poor. Every single day. Mashano shows steady. Your neighbor buys a new car, and you feel you can't fall behind. Steady. A coworker flies to the islands, and suddenly your vacation feels shabby. Low. You buy not what you need, but what other people have. Serious. Your whole life starts orbiting other people's shop windows. Steady. And money drains into a race that has no finish line. Calm. Munger lived in the same house for decades as a billionaire. Steady. He didn't care what people thought, and that gave him freedom. Serious. As long as you compare yourself to others, you work for their approval. Calm. And it isn't worth a single hour of your overtime. Steady. Kill the envy, and half of your wasteful spending vanishes on its own. Calm. Compare yourself only to who you were yesterday. Everything else is a trap. Steady. Truth. 3. Munger's favorite tool. He called it inversion. Serious. Everyone asks, how do I get rich? Munger flipped the question. Steady. He asked, how would I guarantee I stay poor? And simply didn't do that. Calm. His famous line, tell me where I'll die so I never go there. Steady. Don't chase brilliant moves. Just stop doing stupid ones. Low. The list of stupid moves is short and everyone knows it. Steady. Living on debt, spending more than you earn, betting on what you don't understand. Serious. Chasing fast riches. Believing anyone who promises easy money. Steady. Cut these mistakes out, and you're already ahead of most people. Calm wealth is usually built not by brilliance, but by avoiding big blow-ups. Steady Munger said, "We didn't try to be smart. We tried not to be idiots." Serious, and that proved more reliable than any brilliant strategy. Low, you don't need to pick the winner. You need to not blow up on something dumb. Steady, write your own list of how to stay poor for sure and do none of it. Calm. It's boring and it works better than any clever scheme. Serious now. The truth that explains why smart people so often go broke. Steady Truth 4, about how intelligence gets in the way of money. Serious Munger said, take a simple idea and take it seriously. Steady, but that's exactly what smart people can't do. While simple feels boring to them, they want complex and elegant. Steady, so they crawl into tangled schemes where it's easiest to lose. Serious, but wealth almost always stands on insultingly simple things. Steady, spend less than you earn. Save, invest, wait. Low, this needs no genius. It needs the discipline to repeat it for years. Steady Munger took one simple idea and held it for decades. Calm. He didn't change strategy every month. He didn't hunt for a new trick. Serious power isn't knowing 100 ideas, it's applying one. Steady. A mind that craves complexity walks past the simple thing that actually works. Calm, choose one simple money rule and live by it, seriously. Steady. It's unglamorous, but it's what separates the rich from the forever researching. Steady Truth 5, about patience almost no one has. Serious Munger said, the big money isn't in the buying and selling. It's in the waiting. Steady, real wealth grows slowly and silently. For years, Leo Santo. And people get bored. They crave action, movement, something happening. Steady. So they fidget. Buy, sell, change the plan, chase moments. Serious. And every one of those moves usually costs them money. Steady Munger put it simply. Learn to sit on your backside. Calm, you planted a tree. Don't dig it up every day to check the roots. Steady. The hardest thing in money is to do nothing when everything screams to act. It'll low, but it's the calm waiting that lets compounding do its work. Serious. Thrills are for the casino. Wealth is about boredom and patience. Steady, if your finances are exciting, you're probably losing. Calm, a boring account is a sign you're doing it right. Steady Munger waited years for the right moment, and it made him a fortune. Serious. Patience isn't weakness. In a world of now, it's a superpower. Taiki ilo. But there's one habit without which even patience won't save you. That's next. Steady Truth 6. The simplest and the most broken. Serious Munger lived noticeably more modestly than he could, his whole life. Steady, he spent less than he earned, even when the money was enormous. Elodo. Most people do the opposite. A little more income, instantly a pricier life. Steady, new salary, new car, a raise, a bigger apartment. Serious. And the account still reads zero, just with a nicer facade. Steady Munger despised debt taken on for a pretty picture. Italo. He saw in it not luxury, but a chain that keeps you at your job. Steady. The gap between what you earn and what you spend, that is your wealth. Serious. Not the size of your salary, but how much you manage to keep. Calm, want to be free? Make your life cost less than your income. Steady, in that gap, save it, don't eat it. Serious. Flashy luxury is almost always debt wearing an expensive mask. Calm, live below your means, and your means start to grow on their own. Steady, and the last truth, what Munger valued above money itself. Serious, he said, go to bed a little smarter than when you woke up. Steady, a little new knowledge every day. For years. Compound interest for the mind. Loa. He read so much his kids called him a book with legs sticking out. Steady, but he didn't read to look smart. He read to decide better. Serious. He also warned about your worst enemy, self-deception. Steady. The easiest person to fool is yourself. You're your own easy target. Coelho, people lie to themselves about their spending, their debt, their "I'll start later." Steady Munger demanded honesty with yourself more than intelligence. Serious, admit the truth about your money, however unpleasant it is. Calm. From that honest look, all real wealth begins. Steady, get a little smarter and a little more honest every day, and in years you're unrecognizable. Serious intelligence without honesty doesn't make you rich. It makes you confident and broke. Calm. Now look at how these truths came together in one life. Steady, by his early 40s, Munger had been through a divorce and lost almost everything. Low, and soon after, he lost his son to cancer. He knew real pain, not just numbers. Serious. He didn't break, and he didn't start blowing money out of spite. Steady, he went back to his boring principles and simply continued. Steady saved, learned, waited, didn't envy, didn't do stupid things. Calm, and decades later, he became one of the most respected minds in money. Serious, not through flashy leaps, through calmly repeating the simple for years. Steady, his wealth was built not by brilliant moves, but by the absence of big mistakes. Elo, and patience where everyone around him was fidgeting. Calm. The good news, not one of his truths requires special talent. Steady. So this doesn't stay a nice video. Do 3 things. Steady 1. Start building your first pile. Set aside even a little today. Steady 2. Write your list of stupid moves and stop making them. Steady 3. Freeze your lifestyle. Income goes up. Let spending stay put. You're low, and hold one Munger rule as your anchor. Don't envy. Serious. Not one of these steps needs genius or a big salary. Calm, only honesty with yourself and the patience to repeat the simple. Low, go back to the question from the start. Why are you still broke? Serious, by Munger's answer. Not because you're dumb or unlucky. Steady, but because you quit early, you envy, you overcomplicate, and you fidget. Calm, remove that, and the money that passed you by starts staying with you. Serious, Munger lived almost 100 years repeating the simple until it became a fortune. Calm, start today with one boring step, and in years you'll thank yourself.